All right, we are live on YouTube. Welcome to a very special late night episode of Navigating the Modern World with Eli. Glad you could all join me here tonight. The show, once again, is not going to be too terribly long. Probably 30 minutes, maybe 45 at the most. We'll just see how it goes. I've got some things to share with you folks. And we're going to get to that in just a little bit here. But before we get to all of that, as always, first of all, let me make sure that everything is rolling smoothly. Let me make sure everything is rolling smoothly. Yeah. YouTube is saying the current frame rate is too high. Please set the frame rate to 30 frames per second or less. Well, you allow 60 frames per second for smoother video, YouTube, and that's just an error on your end. I've seen that pop up before, but the back end seems to be rolling well, regardless of the false positive message. False positive, that's what they call it. Let me also make sure that the YouTube notification has gone out, and it looks like it has, and let me do a sound check. It's not going to be too terribly long, probably 30 minutes, maybe 45 at the most. We'll just see how it goes. I've got some things to share with you folks. And we're going to get that in just a little bit. All right. Everything is rolling smoothly. First and foremost, I hope you've all had a fantastic weekend and you're ready for an amazing start to the new week. It's still Sunday night here. It's 11:23 p.m. Pacific time. It is 2:20. Well, it just turned 11:24 p.m. Pacific time. 2:24 a.m. Eastern time. Good morning to those of you on the East Coast, and hello to everyone else. A happy late evening, however you want to say it. I've got some things to talk about here tonight that I was thinking about earlier today. My girlfriend Dawn and I went out of town for most of the day. And we had some things to do, some people to hang out with, and we had a nice dinner in the late afternoon, early evening. We ran some errands, and then we came back home, and I started to get some, emails and messages from people that are a part of my organization or a part of my network behind the scenes. And they were telling me about some things that continue to happen. Now, some people out here on YouTube have told me to just ignore it and it'll all go away and yada, yada, yada. Yes, I can ignore it. I'm choosing not to. I'm choosing not to because I want to go to bat for the people that I care for. And honestly, I care about everyone in general, but especially the people that have been very supportive of my YouTube channels and my organization. I will always go to bat for them. I used to not do that, and now I've decided to do that every time I feel that they need my support, and I want to give them my support. So I got some messages, and these messages sent me links to videos that were a bit disturbing to the people that I'm connected with behind the scenes, my supporters, and people that help me run the organization. And I was just very, very disturbed by what I continue to see. Now, I'm going to explain this as best as possible without getting too far into it, because everyone that has been following me for a while or has followed other people that make content on me for a while, you know what's going on regarding my situation. I'm currently dealing with something right now. And based on what I'm currently dealing with right now, the people that care about me along with myself are in a state of confusion where, like, why would people do this, especially during this time? Why? We just don't understand why they would behave this way and continue doing these things during this time. Now, if you're new here, you're probably not going to have a clue what I'm talking about. You may want to come back to a different stream, but I'm putting this out there primarily for the people I care for, and also for people that know the story and can put two and two together and understand what I'm talking about. Okay. Now, just to let everyone know, if you're here live, this is a members only live chat. I did that because I don't want any trolls. I want to minimize the distractions. I thought about turning the chat off, but when you use members only mode, moderators can chat for free. And, the people that are very close to me and a part of the organization and have been a part of my channels for a while have a moderator. They can come in here and chat for free. Anyone else, you need to purchase at least a $2.99 channel membership to chat here. And if you purchase that channel membership to troll me once, then I'll thank you for your $3 and then I'll ban you. How's that? So that's why I'm doing that. There are times where, I'm not looking to capitalize off of something. I'm just looking to get a message out to help everyone involved. And I truly want to help everyone involved, but some people are just not open to the help. And they're just not being reasonable, especially during a time where being reasonable is to be expected based on the current situation. And so I got some messages behind the scenes, and I'm not going to mention his name. And this is not Jamie from the Legion. I'll share some positive things about him in a little bit here regarding the stream I did yesterday, where we're going to be doing a live stream together. I'll share more about that. But this is another guy in his early 30s that used to be good friends with myself and my girlfriend Dawn, and he was connected with my girlfriend Dawn and the GNA moderator group chat on Facebook Messenger for a while. And this guy continues to put out content that's either not true, highly exaggerated, using AI, or he's putting out content that was privately shared in a Facebook Messenger group chat. Now, let me actually start off by saying this, and let me be as fair as possible, because people like to question everything I say, and some people just never want to accept reality or accept responsibility for their actions, right? So, the best way to, hold people like this accountable is to basically share the facts of the situation, okay? So it was stated, and I'm going to get to this in a second here, but someone that I'll talk about without mentioning names here in a second, another third party besides this early 30-year-old dude that used to be friends with my girlfriend Dawn and myself, right? This other dude was saying that, it's not an invasion of privacy to share stuff out of a Facebook group chat, because it's more so considered a public chat, and you should only be putting things there, in a public setting or something like that. To a certain extent, that's true, but to another aspect, that is not true, because you can now go onto Google and use their AI. They have an AI overview. You can ask it any question and it'll search all the websites and give you the answer, right? And the answer here is sharing information from a Facebook group messenger harassment, right? And the answer is sharing information from a Facebook group messenger can be considered harassment if the information is personal, sensitive, and shared without the consent of the person involved, especially if the intent is to cause harm. Keep that in mind. Especially if the intent is to cause harm. And all of these people that have been doing this kind of stuff, their intent is obviously to cause harm. They want to get a reaction from you. They want to intimidate you. They want to harass you and bully you on YouTube to get your reaction, right? So especially if the intent is to cause harm, embarrassment, or distress, essentially sharing private information from a group chat without permission could constitute harassment depending on the context and the nature of the information shared. And keep in mind context, because there's another person outside of this younger dude. There's a guy around my age that did something similar that does constitute harassment because of the nature of why he shared it and who he shared it with and how the person that he shared it with put it out there publicly during a time where if I was the person running that show, I would not have done this based on the circumstances. Okay, let's put it that way, right? Key points to consider: privacy expectations. Group chats are generally considered semi-private, which is true because they're a group, right? But they still have a level of privacy. They should have a level of privacy, meaning members within the group have access to the conversation, but sharing information outside the group without consent can be problematic. Can be. It might not be, or it could be, based on the intent and the context. Keep that in mind. Intent and context, right? And then intent matters. If the purpose of sharing the information is to publicly humiliate or target someone, if the purpose of sharing the information is to publicly humiliate or target someone, it is more likely to be considered harassment. And 100% without a shadow of a doubt, when people do this, it is with the intent to publicly humiliate or target someone. Bottom line, everyone knows this. The only people that are not going to admit this are the people that are doing it. The only people that aren't going to admit this are the people that are doing it because they don't want to admit guilt, right? But their actions speak for themselves. So whether you admit to doing something or not, your actions are clearly showing what you're doing, right? So intent matters and context matters. Even in a Facebook group chat. And over the years, I have seen so many people that were a part of groups and would share messages. And people would talk behind the scenes about other creators they weren't too fond of, or certain things that other creators might have said about us. We might have reacted in a negative way or said some things. We did that behind the scenes for a reason, because we wanted to vent out our frustrations in a private setting, or what we believe to be private. So that way, we can get over it and move on and not cause any issues for us or the people that we were frustrated at. Everyone's been frustrated at someone else at one point or another. Everyone's had some frustrations. Everyone has said things about other creators they didn't mean, based on what those creators may have done at that time. And those creators, might have, they might have said some things to upset us. We might have said some things that upset them. But eventually, those get resolved. And any one of those situations that I've been in have all been resolved. Give me a second here. And most people have moved onwards and upwards, right? But some groups on YouTube where, in my opinion, they've chosen you as their target, no matter what you say or do or don't do or whatever, it doesn't matter to them. They continue to make you their target no matter what. And what they will do is put out information from these groups that they screen recorded or screenshot. Things that happened many years ago. Some things happened 2 years ago. Some things happened 3, 4, 5 years ago. They'll put these things out. And most, if not all of these things don't involve them in any way, shape, or form, but they do it because you are their target. And anything they can get their hands on regarding you, regarding anyone that you've participated with on YouTube, behind the scenes or anywhere, anything they can get on you, they use it as content because, again, you are their target. Also known as a targeted harassment campaign, in my opinion. Now, this younger gentleman that used to be friends with my girlfriend and myself, okay? He has continued to put out things that appear to be AI. Either that or he has put out messages and he basically has stated that those messages mean something different than they actually mean, right? In essence, one example here, I will mention my friend Tia and Don's friend Tia. She's also friends with Sandra, also friends with everyone. We're all friends. We are just friends. You know, this group of people have come out and have tried to, paint Tia and I in that we're in an emotional relationship and we talk behind the scenes and we do this behind my girlfriend Don's back. That's not true at all. Don knows it, Tia knows it, Sandra knows it, and every single one of you that keeps putting this out, you know it. But for some of you, your drama channels, and you poke a little fun at stupid content and you know it's not true, and I know you know it's not true, so I leave you folks alone. But the people that are creating this content, okay, the people that are creating this content, they are the culprits, right? They know it's not true. And people have asked me, hey, Eli, why not just ignore it? Because the more you talk about it, the more guilty you look. I don't care if you think I'm guilty or not. I don't care if all of you think that something is going on between Tia and I, because nothing is going on. And all that matters is how my girlfriend Don and I feel, how Tia feels, how Sandra feels, how other people in our group feels, and how other people in our group feels. I'm a little bit tired. Had a long day. What matters is how other people in our group feel, and we know they know the truth. That's all that matters. We know they know the truth. But what did this early 30-year-old guy do? Okay. When you're a part of a Facebook group page and you get removed from that group page, you still have access to all previous messages before you got removed from the entire group. From the point you entered the group until the point that you get removed from the group, you have access to all previous messages unless, anyone in the group went in unsent messages before that person was removed. So this early 30-year-old dude played a clip earlier that he got from this other channel that has been causing me issues, let's put it that way, for a very long time. Okay. He actually clipped that from this woman's channel because I saw in his clip that there was a wolf logo in his video. But how did that woman get access to this? How did she get access to, my behind the scenes chat? Now, there's someone else that works closely with this woman. He's an older guy around my age, a little bit younger than me. Most of you know who I'm talking about, right? And he put out some stuff that he screen recorded on his phone, and he altered some of it. Some of it he kept regular, some of it he altered. But he screen recorded stuff while he was a part of the group. So he was never a part of the group since Tia came in. So he would have no access to it. So the only way that anyone could get a voice message from the Coach Eli behind the scenes Facebook group would be through this early 30-year-old guy, right? So what I think happened is he went in from the point of where he was removed, and we don't talk a lot of bad stuff in the group. We sometimes share our thoughts about what we think about people, right? But everyone does that. We're not behind the scenes conspiring or anything. All we've tried to do is defend ourselves from stupidity and from people attacking us. That's it. There's nothing wrong with that. But he went in there and basically got these clips and shared these clips, because this is the only way that they could have gotten this. Shared these clips with this other woman running a channel. And then apparently it must have been edited on their end, over there on her end, because it shows the wolf logo in the background. And the wolf logo is this person's channel icon. So first of all, dude, and you know who you are. Do you not think by process of elimination and knowing that every single person in my group since you left is 1,000,000% trustworthy? They've been with us for 4 or 5 years each, with the exception of Tia. She's been around for a little over a year, but she's very trustworthy. Do you not realize that the only way that you could have gotten any voice message of Tia's is from the Coach Eli group? You got it, and then you gave it to this woman. And you gave it to her with the intent to bully and harass me and further intimidate me during a time where I am dealing with another matter with this woman. So in essence, dude, you're a third party contributing to further harassing me, whether you realize it or not. You can sit there and laugh all you want. And I'm not looking to create any issues for anyone, but you're creating issues for yourselves. Because you think it's some joke. This is not a joke. You gave her that clip and other clips from our group. And even if you're going to say, well, it's a public group and, privacy rights are different in Facebook group pages, that's true to a certain extent. But like I mentioned earlier, okay, sharing information from a Facebook group messenger can be considered harassment if the information is personal, sensitive, and shared without the consent of the person involved, especially if the intent is to cause harm, embarrassment. You're trying to cause harm, dude. You're trying to cause embarrassment. You're causing distress, right? We're all distressed because of this. And just because we're strong people and we fight through it doesn't mean we have to suffer from intentional infliction of emotional distress over your stupidity. So in essence, dude, you just named yourself a third party. Think about it. You just named yourself a third party without even realizing it, bro. And like I don't want you to have to be a part of this. All I wanted you to do is leave us alone. We've left you alone. We removed you. We said, hey, best of luck to you, but you didn't stop. And now you continue to amp it up. And now you're so upset and you're so triggered that you're willing to blatantly do things, sir, that could put you in a whole lot of hot water because you're contributing to further harassment based on my current circumstances. And you know what those are. You are trying to intimidate myself and my girlfriend, Dawn, and Tia. And you're contributing to other people and, in my opinion, their continued efforts of intimidation during a time where they shouldn't be doing that. They should never be doing that, but more so especially during this time. We are at 27 minutes. I'm probably going to take a quick break here and then come back for another 20 minutes. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about this guy that stepped away for a while because he was assisting other creators, one other creator specifically, to keep coming at me. And then he stepped away because the stove got hot. And then I let it go. I'm like, okay, he's stepping away, cool. He wants nothing to do with this. Smart move. But now he's reinserted himself. He's reinserted himself into something that he's been kind of involved with, but not really. But now he's involving himself, so I'm going to share my thoughts. And you folks can decide what you think. That's on you. And this particular man has personally threatened me on a live stream on YouTube. He has personally threatened me. I'm going to share about that when I come back from the break. Even though he threatened me, because he backed off and he removed himself, I let it go. I let it go because he backed off and he stopped the constant harassment. But now he's back and he's contributing to help someone else, third party style, in my opinion, indirectly and directly, to further harass me during a time where that shouldn't be happening, based on current events, right? Based on current things happening. We're going to talk about that right after the break. And then I'm going to share a few other things regarding Jamie. It's a positive thing, Jamie, because I found out something tonight that someone threatened you publicly. Someone threatened you. I saw a screenshot of it. Maybe it was publicly or it was in a messenger message. I'm not quite sure. I saw a community posting on this. I'm going to share my thoughts about that in a little bit. I'm also going to share a little bit more about the upcoming show that Jamie and I are going to be doing a week from tomorrow, Monday, December 16th at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Pacific. Jamie wrote back community posting, and he said, as of right now, it sounds good. He should be able to make it. If things change, he'll let me know, and we can schedule it for another time. No problem. No problem. So, I'm going to step away for a quick break, and when I get back, we'll get into the rest, another 20, 30 minutes, and then I got to wrap it up. Got to take care of some other things and get to bed. It's going to be another long day tomorrow. So let me queue up some royalty-free YouTube music. Let me see here. Oh, where are those songs? Oh. All right, music is all queued up. I'm going to step away for probably a 3 to 5 minute break. It's not going to be that long of a break. And when we get back, we'll get right back to it. Stick around. We'll be right back. We're back. We are back live. Welcome back to the show, everyone. We are just going to get right back to it. I forgot to scratch it. Let's just scratch it and get right back down to business. Welcome back to the show, everyone. Welcome back to Navigating the Modern World with Eli, live here on YouTube, live here on the main channel, GNA, Genuine Personal Development, where I'm going to be doing these live streams from the studio here on this channel till the end of the year. Then they're going to go right back to GNA2, Genuine Live Personal Development, and then we're going to make this completely a pre-recorded channel. We may do some occasional live streams in the future, again, if necessary, but for the most part, this will be a pre-recorded channel. All right, if you missed the first part of the show, go back and check out the replay. And again, this show to new people is probably not going to make a whole lot of sense, but to people that have been around for years or at least a few months, have followed me for a while for whatever reason, or have seen other creators talk about me, you know what's going on, and that's what this stream here is primarily catered to. And also, I really wanted to go to bat for the people that are a part of my organization that are dealing with a lot of stuff based on things that I'm dealing with as well that I really shouldn't have to deal with. No one should have to deal with things at this level. On YouTube, if you want to create reaction videos and make commentary on someone and what they say every now and then, do it under fair use, do little reaction videos, or even do a live stream and react, no problem. It's when you cross the line where it becomes a problem, and some people may not even understand where the line is at, or either they know where the line is at and they just don't care because they think the line doesn't matter. The line does matter. It absolutely does matter. So let's continue here, okay? In the first part of the show, we were talking about an early 30s gentleman that used to be friends with my girlfriend, Dawn, and myself. And he was a part of our group. He was a moderator here for a while. And he ended up sharing some voice messages from our group to another group of people that I'm currently involved in some matters outside of YouTube, okay? And he did that on purpose. And he contributed to, in my opinion, further harassment, third-party style, directly and indirectly as well. That's my opinion. I'm entitled to that. I mean, it should be pretty obvious, but let's just state it as an opinion, right? Now, there's another gentleman that is involved with another female creator, okay, that I've been dealing with some things with outside of YouTube. And this gentleman used to come around and make content with this creator a year and a half ago or so, or almost 2 years ago. I think it was a year and a half ago, maybe a little bit longer than that, closer to 2 years, where he and this other female creator would talk about me all the time. And then they started to do a bunch of things. There's a whole timeline of events. I've explained those events in other videos, other streams here over the last week or so. Go back and check out those streams if you want to hear some of those events. But again, based on the situation right now, this gentleman should realize, and I'm sure does realize, what he's doing, in my opinion, is contributing to further harassment, third-party style, directly and indirectly, because the creator that he's giving information to is accepting that information. That information came from the time of a little over 2 years ago when him and his wife were a part of our Coach Eli moderator group chat. He screen recorded a bunch of messages and a bunch of, comments. Some of it is genuine. Some of it has been converted to AI. There's a combination of both. I'm not going to argue it. I'm not here to argue anything. Okay. And I will say this. Again, he mentioned on a stream that was done, not on his channel, this lady's channel, a week ago, he mentioned that, sharing messages from a Facebook group page, you don't have any privacy rights to, and this and that. No, you do. You don't have as much privacy rights as you would if it was one-on-one, but you still have some rights, like I mentioned. It all depends on your intent and the context. And in this case, sir, you know the situation I'm in, the other person is in, you know the situation, right? And it makes me feel like you intentionally did this to try to intimidate me in this situation. That's how I feel, further causing me emotional distress. I'm putting this out there publicly because I want other people here to understand what's going on, because it's not fair to anyone. Regardless of what you think, it's not fair to anyone. Now, again, sharing information from a Facebook group messenger can be considered harassment if the information is personal, sensitive, and shared without the consent of the person involved, especially if the intent is to cause harm. Sir, you've always said your intent is to cause me harm. Embarrassment or distress, essentially sharing private information from a group chat without permission, could constitute harassment depending on the context and the nature of the information shared. You did this to try to cause me harm. In my opinion, you did this to try to cause me harm. Your intent is to cause me harm. Your intent is to embarrass me and cause me emotional distress during a time where you know the creator that you shared this information with should not be doing these types of things, should not be accepting this information from you and putting it out there in this way based on the circumstances. You know that. Group chats are generally considered semi-private, meaning members within the group have access to the conversation, but sharing information outside the group without consent can be problematic. And then intent matters. Intent matters. If the purpose of sharing the information is to publicly humiliate or target someone, I've been your target for years, sir. In my opinion, I've been your target for years. It is more likely to be considered harassment. So yeah, you can come out and say, yeah, it's a group, so it's not fully private, and what you put out there is more considered public stuff, whatever. That's fine. I'll give you that. But what was your intent? We know what your intent is based on what you've always done to me. This gentleman, over the last year and a half or so, threatened me. He threatened to come to my city here in Redwood City. He threatened to what do you call it? What's the word I'm looking for? He threatened physical harm on me. He threatened physical harm on me, and he said that I'd be willing to take the misdemeanor. He found out in California, if you punch someone or beat someone up, it's a misdemeanor. So he publicly said on a stream, I have that stream and a clip of that. And my intentions, sir, were never to go anywhere with that. And I still don't want to go anywhere with that, sir. But you reinserted yourself in something that's really none of your business. And now you want to make it your business? I don't get it. I don't get it. I let it go, sir. You walked away. I let it go. You made a credible threat. That was a very credible threat. I don't know what you're capable of doing. You made a credible threat. And yeah, I considered taking some action on it, but then you walked away and you stopped the harassment. And that's all I've ever wanted. So by the good graces of God, I said, okay, I'm going to let it go because he stopped. But now you're back and you're amping it up. Now, within those messages from years ago, some of them were unaltered, some were altered. Okay? That has all been addressed over the last several years. And all of those people I've reconciled with, I've apologized to them. They've apologized to me for things that they've done. And we're moving onwards and upwards. And I'm not trying to justify why I said those things, but there is a reason why. Because the people I was talking about, they were putting out content regarding myself, my girlfriend Dawn. It was very vile stuff that we didn't like. So we reacted to it like any normal human being would. We reacted to it behind the scenes because we didn't want to go public on it. We didn't want to stir up the pot more and give more content out. But that has all been resolved. That has all been resolved. So why the big deal? You just want my reaction? You say publicly you want to see me squirm? What kind of a human being does that make you? I mean, seriously. Would you want anyone doing that to you? I don't think so. Are you that entertained by me having to constantly defend myself? I don't get it. What is it? I just don't understand. Over the years, I've tried to reconcile with many people. There's nothing wrong with me trying to reconcile with anyone. I never really had a problem with anyone in the first place. But I was dealing with a lot over the years. I dealt with people like J.B. Gunner and other people, right? And yes, for a period of time, I wasn't too thrilled about what Jamie was doing and other people he works with. And I don't mention certain people's names because they've asked me to not mention their names. If anyone asks me to not mention their names or not talk about them, I'm going to respect that. I'm going to respect that. I've asked you guys not to talk about me. Or if you're going to do it, at least do it the right way. Do it under fair use and do it based on what I'm talking about. You folks are constantly harassing me, in my opinion. You folks are constantly trying to character assassinate me instead of criticize my content. If I'm going to be extremely fair, and this is being fair, this is not taking sides. This is just the truth of the matter. If I'm going to be fair, the people on Jamie's end have always criticized the content for the most part. Yes, there were some times where they kind of pushed the line and put out some stuff regarding my girlfriend Dawn and myself and other things. But they never took it to the level that you, sir, and some other people have in your neck of the woods. They've never gone that far. And they've never gone real life on me. And I have never gone real life on them. And I don't want to go real life on anyone. I don't. That's the truth of the matter. That's the truth of the matter. Yeah, I said some things I didn't mean. I was frustrated in the heat of the moment. I'm not denying the things I've said. I'm not denying that stuff. But that has nothing to do with you or any other party you're involved with. That has nothing to do with you. And if you're going to talk about the time where you got mad at me, sir, for talking about your lifestyle, you went public on that. You publicly talked about your lifestyle. You talked about your lifestyle within our group back then. And I shared my thoughts about it in a respectful way, and it triggered you, and you got upset. You got upset, and you used that as an excuse, which I don't think it really upset you. I think you needed to find an excuse to try to keep coming at me and regurgitating content that's been regurgitated a million times. Nevertheless, you asked for an apology. I gave you an apology to both you and your wife publicly right here on this main channel. That stream, that live stream replay of a public apology to you and your wife is still publicly available on this channel today. If I didn't mean that, sir, I would have removed that video. It's still publicly available. And quite honestly, sir, you were talking about your lifestyle, and I shared my opinion. You share tons of opinions of me, and even more than opinions. But let's just say some of the stuff that you share about me are your opinions, right? So you have the right to criticize me and make opinions on me. But I can't make a simple comment regarding what you mentioned about your lifestyle publicly and in the group. And then I apologize to you, sir, and your wife publicly. And I've left you alone and her alone. I have not come at any of you, and I never wanted to come at any of you in the first place. It's almost like you're trying to find a reason to keep coming at me. You're trying to find an excuse to keep coming at me because you're entertained by my reactions. Fine. Be entertained by my reactions. But think about other actions that you're taking and you're associating yourself with, other actions that you now have involved yourself with, which is what I'm trying to say. Think about what you're actually doing. You know what you're doing. I feel like you're trying to intimidate me during a time where you shouldn't, and other people shouldn't allow you to do that. Other people that you're collaborating with, sending stuff to. Again, I don't care about what was said 2 years ago. I apologize for it then. I'll apologize for it now. It's not about what was said on there because that doesn't involve you or any other party on your end. It's about your intention to put that out there to give another creator content during a time where we're dealing with something off of YouTube. I don't know what more you want, dude. I don't know what more you want. I don't know how much clearer I can be. I don't know how much nicer I can be. I'm actually a nice person. You guys keep trying to paint me to be this piece of shit because I had a few moments years ago. I said some things I didn't mean, mainly in private conversations that many of you then, years later, because I realize the types of people that you are, and I'm not trying to say you're all bad people or everything you do is bad, but you do some bad things to the point of where I remove you, and then because you get removed, You now want to go back to that private stuff and then release it publicly and try to paint me as something that I'm not when all I had was a fucking moment. That's it. That's all this boils down to. No one's perfect. Everyone makes mistakes. I haven't harmed any of you on that end. I haven't harmed anyone. I've reacted and overreacted because I've been attacked a lot on this platform, and I used to not know how to handle it. And I learned how to handle it better. That's why you folks have to keep going back years to the mistakes I made back then. Like you folks made mistakes back then, and you keep making mistakes. I've stopped making mistakes. You may not like what I say out here. You may not like how I present my content, but that's your opinion. You can have your opinion, and that's where it should end, but it doesn't end there for you. You keep amping it up. And that's where the problem lies. You keep amping it up, and that's where the problem lies. I can try my best, sir, to be nice to you. I could try my best and say, hey, dude, you should remove yourself from this situation. I can say that, and I have said that. And that would be the best thing for you to do in spite of certain current circumstances. But you're probably not going to do that. I'm trying to be nice to you when I shouldn't be nice, but that's the kind of person that I am. I'm not trying to be controlling. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. You can do whatever you want. But when it comes to harassment, I have the right to defend myself. Now, not everything out here on YouTube that people have done is technically considered harassment. And even if it is, even if somebody harasses you one time and then they stop, that's not going to go anywhere. But when you are a part of constantly harassing someone day in and day out for years, and then you're helping other people do it, directly or indirectly, or both, what would you do? Do you expect me to just sit there and keep letting people punch me in the face, figuratively, because no one's punched me in the face literally? Because that'd be a different story if they did that. There'd be other consequences for that. That's where the different story lies. But figuratively, you guys have been punching me in the face and hitting me below the belt almost every day, if not every day, for a year and a half, almost 2 years straight, and you, sir, even longer than that. So what am I supposed to do? Just sit here and just let you knock me out? What would anyone do in my shoes? What would you do in my shoes? I don't want to assume what you would do, because if I say what I think you would do, based on what you've said in the past regarding these situations, then you would probably try to accuse me of something. And all I'm doing is stating my opinion. That's all. I got nothing more to say about that. To the 30-year-old guy, the early 30-year-old guy, and to you, sir, the mid-40s guy, or late 40s guy around my age, I'm not telling you what to do. You're going to do what you want to do what you got to do. My advice would be to disassociate yourself from this situation. That's my advice. You don't have to take my advice. I'm trying to be very nice here. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You should disassociate yourself, both of you guys, from this situation. And if you have a problem with me, state your problem. One time, you want to do a video. You guys have done many videos, but you guys have not really stated your problem. You've basically sucker punched me. That's what you do. You hit below the belt. That's what you guys do. You sucker punch me and others, and you hit below the belt. Because you don't care to criticize my content. You care to just constantly attack and harass me, in my opinion. Constantly, because for whatever reason, it gives you joy and pleasure, in my opinion. Again, in my opinion. Again, I'm going to bat for Tia, Sandra. I mean, there were a mess just put out regarding Sandra in 2020. She shared her thoughts about when I was talking about RJ Sandifer. No problem with that. That was from 2020. Over 4 years ago. We're almost in 2025. And these people are pulling screenshots from 2020 regarding moderators and supporters that have been a part of my organization and my network for 5, 6, 7 years. And you think that is going to make me upset? I'm not upset at Sandra. I'm not upset at Tia. I'm not upset at anyone on my end. And I'm really not upset at anyone else for the most part. I am highly disappointed and highly disturbed by your piss poor behaviors. And it's caused me a lot of stress and emotional distress. Constantly. Myself, my family, my girlfriend who's a part of my family, she's a part of my family, my girlfriend, my mother, my brother. My brother's been dealing with this too. And my aunt knows about it too. It's causing a ton of emotional distress. I'm trying to grow my business. I have the right to do that without being harassed and bullied and stalked and all that. I'm just highly disappointed. I am highly disappointed. I can understand people poking little fun at someone, doing commentary and this and that. But the level some people have taken it to try to actually cause me harm in the real world, all because I've said a few things in the past I didn't mean. You guys have done the same thing. And all because you feel my advice is dangerous. If you feel my advice is dangerous, so be it. Get over yourself. You've made your point many, many times. If you feel that my advice is so dangerous that you have to make it your life's mission to harass me on YouTube every day, to try to make as many people aware that I'm dangerous when I'm not. If I was dangerous, YouTube would have removed me. I'm sure all of you are flagging me daily. I've never been taken down because it's just my advice. It's just the content. It's my experiences. And if you don't like my experiences, you can change the channel. That's the bottom line. That's it. Period. End of story. I will tell you, dude, honestly, I don't have hatred for anyone. No one. Even people that are coming at me, even people that have made my life miserable. And yes, you have made it miserable. And I'm doing the best I can to function every day, to be here for my family, including my mother, my girlfriend, Dawn, and other family members. You have made it very difficult for me to function. That's how I feel. That's not a lie. I'm not looking for sympathy. It's the fucking truth. And if it makes you happy that you have made my days difficult to function, then what does that say about the type of person you are, man? What kind of person do you want to be? I just can't believe, sir, how far you've taken this and how far, in my opinion, you've encouraged other people to take this. You constantly encourage people to keep coming at me, in my opinion. And in my opinion, you've also given other people ideas and thoughts. Based on what you've done to me in the past, you've given other people ideas of similar things that they've acted on. Do you not feel any sense of responsibility for the position that you have put some people in, sir? Do you not feel any responsibility for the position that you have put other people in? Now, if those people take the actions based on the position you put them in, that's on them. True. That is true. But how do you feel? Knowing in your head and heart, deep within, knowing deep within your head and heart and your heart and soul, the position you've put other people in or kindly nudged or pushed to do because of your hatred of me, sir. That's the truth of the matter. That's the absolute truth of the matter. No doubt about it. And most people out here know that. Even people that have trashed me and I've trashed them before. I didn't trash these people on purpose, and I don't think they trashed me on purpose. And I'm not denying that we trashed each other. None of us are denying all of that stuff that you guys keep putting out. Trying to paint me as some kind of crazy psychopath. Nobody needs this. This is stupid. It's ridiculous. And I really, really hope that we can all move forward from all of this, onwards and upwards. I've told you before, sir, you should focus on your family and focus on other things you have going for you. Inserting yourself in this situation is not worth putting your family at risk and other things at risk, sir. It's not. It's not. And listen, I'm not the kind of guy that would ever wish harm upon anyone or try to create harm upon anyone. All I'm doing, sir, is defending myself against what's happening to me. I have the right to do that. I'm not threatening anyone with anything. You want to spin it and say I'm threatening people? I'm not threatening anyone. All I'm saying is that I'm defending myself against what's coming at me. You choose how you want to come at me or others. That's your choice. But why would you want to do that over getting a reaction or poking fun at somebody or really trying to tear down somebody? Why would you put other aspects of your life at risk over that? You don't have to worry about me, sir. I'm not looking to harm anyone, including you. But what you do out here publicly, sir, anyone can see. Anyone can see. Publicly. You guys do this publicly with no fucking shame. You do this publicly with no fucking shame. I hope you do the right thing. I hope you all do the right thing. I pray to God, you guys and gals do the right thing. That's my encouragement for you folks. One final thing before I go off the air. Next Monday, December 16th, one day before my 51st birthday on December 17th, I'm going to be going live with Jamie on his Showtime. Was it Showtime Lycan channel, is it? It's not Legion. It's Showtime Lycan channel, I believe. At 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Pacific. It was on a lot longer than I thought it would be. An hour and 13 minutes. Jesus, man. Wow. And we're going to have a friendly chat. I'm sure he'll poke a little fun. Not a big deal. I don't care. We're going to talk about some things. And by the way, I forgot to mention that someone threatened Jamie today with bodily harm. I'm not going to get into too much details, but they said I can't listen to Jamie. I want to, I don't want to say it because then people will try to clip me out of context. That's what these people do. And some woman threatened him. That's not cool. Why threaten someone on the internet? Do you not think it's a credible threat? Internet or not? If you threaten someone, that's a credible threat. If it's a real, if you're expressing bodily harm, I have never once threatened anyone with bodily harm or anything like that. I've never done that, ever done that. And any clips of that are guaranteed 100% AI. And AI is already a big fucking problem. AI, I knew it was going to be a big problem. It's going to continue to be a huge problem. And YouTube and other platforms are going to have to find some restrictions, or the law is going to have to step in and say, hey, look, if you abuse AI, it's going to be a criminal offense or something. There's got to be something done regarding laws and AI. Because AI is taking over everything, and it's fucking scary. It is. It's absolutely fucking scary. It is. No one should be threatened with bodily harm or injury or anything like that. That includes Jamie. That includes anyone else on his end. That includes even people I'm not too fond of, or people that have come at me in many ways. Let's put it that way. No one should have to deal with any kind of physical threat of harm. No one should have to deal with that. And regardless of my relationship with anyone, like I said, Jamie or even other people that I'm not fond of at all, based on what they're doing to me, even you folks shouldn't have to deal with threats like that. You shouldn't have to deal with threats like that. No one should. So I will go to bat for Jamie on this. And let me make this clear again. No one is saying that Jamie and I are becoming best friends or whatever. Who knows what happens? I'm all about reconciliation. I'm all about working things out. Maybe this was the way the story was supposed to go after 6.5 or 7 years of this. Maybe this was the way it was supposed to go. Don't read too far into it. Don't read too far into it. We're going to have a conversation. We're going to see how it goes. If it makes sense to do other things in the future, we may do things. Who knows? But at the end of the day, we're moving onwards and upwards. That's it. That's all. You folks like to read too far into things because you try to make content out of every little breath somebody takes. That's your target. You choose a target, and then you try to make content out of every little breath your target takes or makes, right? especially if you have an audience that's there only when you talk about that person. That's why you make that person your target. That's why I've been the target of many people for years, because of the audience of people that supposedly hate me, because they think I'm dangerous based on my opinions, based on what's worked for me and what could work for other people. It's your choice. Do this at your own risk. I don't force people into anything. I share my stories, my thoughts, and my opinions, just like you folks do. What's the difference? Am I held to a higher standard? We're all held to the same standard no matter what we do. Give me a second. Give me a second here. All right. I said what I had to say. I'm sure people will react to this all day tomorrow. Be my guest. You want to sit around all day and react to this honest stream where everything I said is the absolute truth? You want to react to it and try to say the opposite of what actually happened, or try to spin my words out of context? Because if you don't do that, even if you know everything I said is true, if you don't do that, your audience won't stick around. Do you have to cater your content in a way where even if you technically know I'm saying everything is truthful and you agree with everything, you have to pretend to disagree on everything because that's what fuels your audience? I mean, seriously, what kind of content is that? And what kind of creator does that make you? Again, these other people that have done streams on me in the past, I didn't like some of the stuff they did, but for the most part, they were criticizing the content, not the character. Okay? And even if they would try to come at my character, they never took it to the level that some of you folks did. Okay? There's been a handful of people that have tried to character assassinate me on this platform. Okay? I'm dealing with a few of them now. I've dealt with some in the past. One of them was JB Gunner. There are some others, but I'm not going to mention them. But Jamie and his people were never at that level. Haters was never at that level. Tiffany was never at that level. Amber was never at that level. Okay? Most of the other people that ever created content on me never, ever took it to the extreme that some people are taking it to today. That's the difference right there. That's the truth of the matter. And that's where I'm going to wrap up the show here tonight, 12:43 a.m. Pacific time, 3:43 a.m. Eastern time, 1 hour and 21 minutes. I'll be back for a walk at some point tomorrow. Got some other things to take care of and prepare for, continue preparing for. It's going to be a busy week. And then it might slow down a little bit next week. We've got some stuff to do, but this week is just extremely busy. So I'll try to get a walk in each and every day. If not, I'll keep you posted on the community walls here. With that being said, have a good one. Take care. And as always, be good to each other.